Ladies, let's talk about something we all deserve. Love that lifts us higher, love that fuels our souls, love that feels like home. But not just any love. We're talking about the kind that comes from a man who respects you, cherishes you, and sees you for the incredible woman you are. The kind of love that doesn't drain you but nourishes you. The kind that feels secure, not like you're constantly proving your worth. But here's the truth. You don't attract that kind of love by chasing it. You don't find it by bending over backward, making yourself smaller, or fitting into some mold of what you think men want. The secret isn't about playing games or following some three-step rule book. It's about becoming the kind of woman who naturally draws in quality men without begging for attention, without settling, without losing herself in the process. It starts with knowing your worth. And I don't mean just saying it, I mean living it. Walking into every room like you belong there. Owning your standards without apology. Speaking with confidence, even if your voice shakes. A woman who knows her value doesn't waste time proving it, she simply exists in it. And that energy? That's magnetic. That's the kind of presence that turns heads, not because you're trying to impress, but because you radiate something real. A quality man isn't looking for someone to complete him. He's looking for someone who is already whole. He's drawn to a woman who has a life she loves, passions that drive her, and a heart that is open but not desperate. And let's be real, desperation repels, while self-assurance attracts. When you are at peace with yourself, you naturally set a standard. You show the world without a single word what you will and will not accept. You see, love is not about luck, it's about alignment. The energy you put out is the energy you receive. If you believe deep down that you have to settle, that love always ends in heartbreak, that all good men are taken, guess what? You will attract exactly that reality. But when you shift your mindset, when you start believing that you deserve a love that is deep, respectful, and extraordinary, you create space for it to enter your life. And let's not forget, boundaries are attractive. A woman who can say no with grace is a woman who commands respect. A woman who won't tolerate disrespect, inconsistency, or bare minimum effort is a woman who naturally attracts a man willing to rise to her level. Quality men don't fear standards, they respect them. They rise to meet them. And the wrong men, they fade away because they know they can't play games with a woman who knows who she is. So let's stop waiting for someone to choose us. Let's stop shrinking ourselves to fit into places that don't deserve us. The secret to attracting a quality man is becoming a quality woman, one who is already fulfilled, already glowing, already enough. Love isn't something you chase. Love is something you allow, something you invite by simply being your most authentic, radiant, and powerful self. And when that kind of love arrives, it won't feel like a struggle. It won't feel like a guessing game. It will feel like recognition, like truth, like home. Because that's what real love is. It's not something you force. It's something that meets you exactly where you are. So stand tall, set your standards, and trust that the right man will see you, value you, and meet you at the level you deserve. There is a certain magic in a woman who knows her worth. She walks into a room not looking for approval but carrying the quiet confidence of someone who already has it. She does not beg for attention, nor does she shrink herself to fit someone else's expectations. She understands that love is not a prize for how much she can endure, but a reflection of how deeply she values herself. The world often teaches women to be accommodating, to be pleasing, to mold themselves into whatever version is most desirable. But the truth is, no extraordinary love ever came from losing yourself. Real attraction doesn't stem from being what someone else wants. It comes from being so completely, unapologetically yourself that the right person has no choice but to be drawn to you. A woman who knows her worth does not chase because she understands that anything worth having flows towards her naturally. She does not settle for breadcrumbs when she deserves a feast. She does not beg for love, attention, or respect because she gives those things to herself first, and in doing so she creates a gravitational pull, an undeniable energy that attracts not just any man, but the kind of man who sees her, values her, and meets her at her level. When you carry yourself with self-respect, the world takes notice. You stop questioning, am I good enough? And instead ask, is this good enough for me? That shift changes everything. It changes the way you show up, the way you speak, the way you allow yourself to be treated, and most importantly, it filters out the wrong people while drawing in the right ones. There is a certain power in a woman who refuses to settle. She is not arrogant, she is aware. Aware that love is not about proving yourself worthy, but about finding someone who already sees your worth. Aware that the right man will admire her strength, not be intimidated by it. Aware that real love does not require losing parts of herself, but embracing them fully. A woman who knows her worth doesn't just attract a quality man, she inspires him, she elevates him. She becomes the kind of presence that commands respect, not through demands, but simply by existing in her truth. And the man who is meant for her, he will not be the one she has to convince. He will be the one who recognizes her value from the start. Because love at its core is not about waiting to be chosen. It is about knowing that you are already enough. A woman who is deeply in love with her own life radiates an energy that is impossible to ignore. She does not sit around waiting for someone to complete her, because she is already whole. She moves with purpose, fueled by her passions, dreams, and ambitions. She does not wake up every day wondering if love will find her. She wakes up excited about the life she is building, knowing that love will only be a beautiful addition to it, never the reason for her existence. There is something incredibly attractive about a woman who has her own world. A world filled with things that light up her soul. A woman who travels because she wants to see the world, not because she is searching for someone to go with her. A woman who pursues her dreams because they mean something to her, not because she needs to impress anyone. A woman who laughs with her whole heart, dances even when no one is watching, and finds joy in her own company. This kind of woman does not settle for mediocre love because she knows that being alone and fulfilled is far better than being with someone who dims her light. When you build a life you love, you do not attract men who are looking to be your purpose. You attract men who want to be part of something extraordinary. A quality man is not looking for someone to depend on him for happiness. He is drawn to a woman who is already happy, already inspired, already glowing from the inside out. He does not need to be her reason for living. He wants to walk beside her as she lives a life that is full and meaningful on its own. Desperation chases, but self-contentment attracts. The moment you stop waiting for a relationship to give you joy and start finding joy in your own passions, you shift everything. You stop looking outward for validation and start looking inward for fulfillment. And in that shift, something magical happens. The right person sees you not because you are searching for him, but because you are shining so brightly that he cannot help but be drawn to you. A woman who lives a fulfilled life does not fear being alone because she knows she is never truly alone. She has her purpose, her passions, her people, and most importantly, herself. And that is the kind of woman who doesn't just attract a quality man, she attracts a love that matches the richness of the life she has already created. The energy you carry is the energy you attract. If you believe love is hard, that all good men are taken, that relationships always end in pain, then that is the reality you will keep finding. Not because it is the truth, but because your mind is conditioned to seek evidence of what it already believes. But the moment you shift your perspective, the moment you decide that you are worthy of extraordinary love, you start inviting it into your life. A woman who walks with confidence, with joy, with an open heart. She does not chase love, love finds her. She is not consumed by thoughts of whether she is enough because she already knows she is. She does not waste energy proving her worth because she moves through life with the quiet certainty that the right person will recognize it. And that kind of energy, it is magnetic. It draws in people who align with it, people who match it, people who add to it rather than take from it. Attraction is never just about physical beauty. It is about presence, about how you make people feel when you walk into a room. You can be the most stunning woman in the world, but if your energy is desperate, insecure, or heavy with self-doubt, it will push people away. But when you radiate self-assurance, when you exude joy and purpose, when your energy is light and abundant, you naturally pull in those who match that frequency. The truth is, love is not something you need to force. The right person will not have to be convinced to stay. When you believe deep down that love is meant for you, that healthy relationships are real, that you deserve someone who sees and values you, you stop entertaining anything less. You stop holding on to relationships that drain you. You stop giving time to men who do not rise to your standards. And in doing so, you create space for the right love to enter. A woman who truly believes in her own worth does not question if love will come. She trusts that it will in the right time, in the right way, with the right person. She does not settle for anything less than a love that matches her own energy. And that is why she attracts a quality man, a man who mirrors her strength, her passion, her certainty. Because love is never about luck, it is about alignment. And when you align with confidence, with joy, with an unshakable belief in yourself, love has no choice but to find you. There is something undeniably powerful about a woman who knows where to draw the line. She does not explain why she deserves respect, she simply expects it. She does not plead for consistency, she walks away when it's not given. She does not entertain mixed signals, half-hearted efforts, or love that comes with conditions. She understands that the moment she compromises her boundaries is the moment she teaches the world how to treat her. A woman with boundaries is not difficult, she is clear. She does not build walls out of fear, she builds standards out of self-respect. She does not say no to push people away, she says no to protect her peace. And the man who is truly meant for her will not see her standards as a challenge, he will see them as a reflection of her value. Because a quality man does not run from a strong woman, he respects the way she carries herself. He understands that a woman who has boundaries is a woman who values herself. And that is exactly the kind of woman he wants to stand beside. Love is not about tolerating, it is about choosing. Choosing to stay where you feel safe, where your voice is heard, where your worth is recognized. A woman with boundaries does not hold on to something that drains her just because she is afraid of being alone. She knows that loneliness is not found in solitude, it is found in the wrong company. She would rather stand alone in her power than shrink herself for a love that asks her to compromise her dignity. The truth is, when you enforce your boundaries, the wrong men will leave. They will call you too much, say you are too picky, try to make you feel like your standards are unrealistic. But the right man, he will respect you more for them. He will rise to meet them. He will step up, not step back. Because a man who truly values you will never make you feel like you have to beg for the basics. Honesty, respect, effort, commitment, those things will come naturally when love is real. A woman who knows her worth does not fear losing people. She trusts that the right ones will stay. She understands that boundaries do not push love away. They make space for the right love to enter. She trusts that and when a woman stands firm in what she deserves, she does not just attract a quality man, she attracts the kind of love that honors, cherishes, and elevates her. Because love should never cost you your peace, your self-respect, or your identity. Real love, the kind that lasts, will always honor the boundaries you refuse to break. There is a stark difference between wanting love and needing it. A woman who is desperate for love chases it, bends for it, and loses herself trying to keep it. A woman who is at peace with herself allows love to come to her, knowing that the right kind of love will never require her to sacrifice her dignity or self-worth. When a woman radiates confidence, she does not seek validation, she already carries it within her. She does not wait for a man to make her feel special because she already knows she is. Her happiness is not tied to whether someone texts back, whether a man chooses her, or whether love arrives today or tomorrow. She is not desperate for love because she understands that she is already whole. And that kind of energy, it is magnetic, it draws people in without effort, without force, without fear. The truth is, desperation repels. It sends a message that says, I will take anything as long as I am not alone. It lowers standards, invites inconsistency, and attracts people who are looking for someone easy to manipulate. But confidence, self-contentment, and a life filled with purpose create a different kind of energy, an energy that demands respect, that filters out the wrong ones, that attracts those who are capable of giving real love. A woman who is confident in herself does not entertain half-hearted effort. She does not chase after someone who is unsure about her. She does not cling to love that is unsteady or inconsistent. Instead, she stands firm, knowing that the right man will meet her at her level. A quality man is not looking for someone to complete him. He is looking for a woman who is already complete, already secure, already glowing from within. There is something undeniably attractive about a woman who knows she deserves more. She walks differently. She speaks with clarity. She does not explain why she is worthy. She simply exists in her worth. And that kind of presence, it cannot be ignored. The right man will not just be attracted to it, he will respect it, cherish it, and match it. Love is never something to chase. It is something to align with. And the moment a woman stops grasping for love and instead leans into the fullness of who she is, the right man will recognize her. Not because she begged for his attention, but because she stood in her own light and trusted that the love meant for her would find her. A woman who knows her worth does not lower her standards to make someone comfortable. She holds them high and lets the right man rise to meet them. She does not chase, she does not beg, and she does not settle for half-hearted love. She understands that the kind of man worthy of her time, her energy, and her heart will never need to be convinced of her value. He will see it, respect it, and honor it. There is a common fear that having high standards will scare men away, but the truth is, the only men who are intimidated by a strong, self-assured woman are the ones who were never meant for her in the first place. A quality man does not see a woman's confidence as a threat. He sees it as a challenge to step up, to be better, to match the energy she brings. He does not shy away from her strength. He admires it. He does not avoid commitment. He embraces it because he knows she is worth it. The wrong men will tell you that you are asking for too much. They will say that your standards are too high, that love requires compromise, that you should be more understanding. But the right man, he will not ask you to shrink yourself. He will not expect you to accept inconsistency or bare minimum effort. Instead, he will meet you where you are, not because you begged him to, but because he knows you are the kind of woman who deserves nothing less, a woman who carries herself with confidence, does not waste time trying to change or fix someone. She does not lower her expectations just to keep a relationship alive. She knows that true love is not about tolerating, it is about elevating. It is about choosing someone who is willing to grow, to commit, and to match the energy she brings to the table. And the right man, the one who is truly meant for her, will not just recognize her worth, he will rise to meet it. Love should never be about convincing someone to stay, to try harder, or to see your value. The right person will never make you feel like you have to fight for the basics. Respect, effort, consistency. Those things will come naturally when love is real. And when a woman refuses to settle for anything less, she does not just attract a quality man, she attracts a love that is deep, real, and lasting. Because the kind of man who truly belongs in her life is not the one who asks her to lower her standards, but the one who rises to meet them. The most powerful thing a woman can do is to be unapologetically herself. Not the version of herself she thinks will be more lovable, not the version she has been told is more desirable, just her, real, raw, authentic, and unfiltered. Because the truth is, the love that lasts, the love that fulfills, the love that feels like home, it does not come from pretending, shrinking, or trying to fit into someone else's expectations. It comes when you stand fully in who you are and allow the right person to find you there. So many women are taught to mold themselves into what they think a man wants. They dim their light, soften their opinions, suppress their wildness. But a love that requires you to edit yourself is not love, it is performance. And no woman should ever have to perform for love. The right man will not love you more because you change for him. He will love you because you refuse to. He will not ask you to be quieter, smaller, or easier to handle. He will embrace every part of you, the strength, the softness, the fire, the dreams. Because he knows that real love is not about control, but about celebration. When you are truly yourself, you do not attract just anyone. You attract the kind of man who is meant for you, the man who sees your energy, your ambition, your laughter, your quirks, and says, this is exactly what I've been looking for. A man who is confident in himself will never be intimidated by the depth of a woman. He will not need her to be less so that he can feel like more. Instead, he will stand beside her as an equal, as a partner, as someone who does not just admire her strength but adds to it. Love should never feel like proving. It should feel like recognition, like ease, like coming home. The right man will not require you to jump through hoops to earn his affection. He will see your worth from the start. And the most beautiful thing, when you stop chasing, stop molding, stop trying to be what you think will attract love and simply step into your truth, you will find that love has been waiting for you all along, not in the places where you were bending to be chosen, but in the spaces where you stood firm in who you are. Because the deepest, truest love does not ask you to change, it asks you to be more of yourself than you ever have before. The deepest truth about love is that it is never something you need to chase, prove, or beg for. It is not a prize for how much you sacrifice, nor is it a reflection of your worth. The right kind of love, the kind that fills your heart without emptying your soul, will never require you to lose yourself. It will never ask you to become someone you are not, to quiet your voice, to shrink your presence, or to lower your standards. The right love will recognize you not because you fought for it, but because you stood firm in who you are. A woman who understands her own value does not fear walking alone, because she knows that solitude is far better than settling for a love that drains her. She does not measure her happiness by whether she has a man by her side. She measures it by the richness of her own life, the depth of her own passions, and the unwavering belief that she is already whole. And in that wholeness, she attracts not just any man, but the kind of man who sees her strength, respects her boundaries, admires her authenticity, and chooses her not because he needs to, but because he knows that she is unlike anyone else. Love should never feel like a game, a struggle, or a series of compromises that leave you feeling less than. The right relationship is not built on the exhaustion of constantly trying to be enough, but on the peace of knowing you already are. When you stop chasing love and start embodying it, when you move through the world with confidence, joy, and an unshakable sense of self, you do not just attract a quality man, you attract the kind of love that mirrors the greatness already within you. The world will tell you that you need to change, soften, or settle. But the truth is, the right man will love you exactly as you are. He will not be threatened by your success, by your independence, by your fire. He will be drawn to it. He will not need you to be less. He will stand beside you as an equal, knowing that true love is not about control, but about partnership, about respect, about elevation. At the end of the day, love is not about finding someone. It is about finding yourself. And when you truly do, when you stand in your own power, in your own light, in your own truth, love will find you, not as something you needed to complete you, but as something that was always meant to align with you. Because the love you attract will always be a reflection of the love you give yourself.